Welcome to Lake and State. Hello, in this video we'll analyze the intersection of North Lake Street and State Street. We'll use concepts we've learned in CEE 370 to identify issues of the intersection's current state, and then we'll propose some alternatives. To give you a better idea of what the intersection is like, we have a short clip. It features the different modes of transportation that use this intersection on an average day.
The intersection is located on the east end of UW campus and marks the beginning of State Street, a destination popular among students and other citizens of Madison.
The location is unique because of the restricted vehicle classes on State Street. Vehicle classes permitted on State Street include buses, taxis, police, and emergency vehicles.
Don't forget about bicycles. Those present a design challenge because cyclists often travel across Library Mall eastbound to State Street.
The neighboring area plays a large role in the current intersection and the future demand. The parking structure southeast of the intersection, which has an entrance on Lake Street, receives vehicle flow from the north. The structure is a convenient parking location for those looking to shop on State or people visiting Memorial Union. The University Bookstore might be another destination for Badger families and students using the parking structure. And many of those visiting the bookstore might go on a shopping spree or be hungry for some fine dining on State Street. It's these pedestrians walking across Lake Street that represent the largest flow of people traversing the intersection.
When designing an intersection, it's also important we consider future developments. With the renovations being done at Memorial Union and summer just around the corner, the terrace is sure to be a hot spot to visit, which could increase demand. A couple blocks south of the intersection, plans are already in place for a new School of Music building which will include a performance center. Recognizing these future developments could help us predict volume increases over the long term and design around those expectations.
As part of our analyses, we spoke with people who frequent the area. This is some of the feedback we received.
Austin, a State Street resident who frequents the intersection, had this to say: "I think the intersection could do a better job at coordinating the movement of traffic. It might be a good idea to have traffic signs to help coordinate traffic more efficiently for students, drivers, and bikers."
Devin, a university student, had to say, "The biggest problem at the intersection is the amount of people crossing the street. A stoplight would be a good solution to this problem."
Adam, a university student and SafeWalk employee, had this to say: "I think the sheer amount of traffic, pedestrian, bike, and vehicle, all trying to cross, is the main problem at the intersection. The constant flow of pedestrians impedes the drivers. We need different traffic control devices to make the pedestrians cross at certain times to prevent vehicle delay."
Kelsey, a university student and campus tour guide, had this to say: "I have never witnessed any issues with this intersection. I normally walk across it as I'm going to and from State, but cars and pedestrians always seem to be playing cat and mouse trying to cross."
These diagrams represent the different directions of flow analyzed for each class of transportation. Pedestrians were counted during a peak hour of the day traveling across North Lake Street on both sides of the intersection. Car volumes were recorded for all three roadway approaches, and the direction the cars turned was also kept track of. Bike volumes for all approaches were considered, although data for some flows were not recorded. The flow directions for buses and trucks were the same as cars. The volumes for these two vehicle types were combined because they represent the same vehicle class.
Here's the data collected from the 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. hour on Friday, April 25th at the intersection. Using this data and the current dimensions of the intersection, we determined the current level of service to be Class C.
Classy, as in high class?
No, as in ABC. Here are the calculations we used to determine the level of service for the busier crosswalk. We combined the east and west count and divided by the duration and crosswalk width before adding a platooning factor of 4. While vehicle counts are relatively low, queues still form due to pedestrians crossing.
Our first alternative for the intersection includes limiting traffic north of the intersection on Lake to one-way and increasing pedestrian signs. The pedestrian signs would be located at each corner of the intersection and would be purposed to warn cars and pedestrians and to encourage pedestrians to only use the designated crosswalk. This is a low-cost solution, but it would have some downsides. The one-way traffic traveling north on North Lake could confuse drivers on Langdon attempting to turn right or left onto North Lake. Platooning pedestrians might still dominate the intersection at peak hours and cause lengthy delays for vehicles.
Our second proposal is a signalized intersection. Effective timing and cycle lengths will optimize vehicle and pedestrian flows. The lights will become inactive during non-peak hours and will operate as stop signs. While this approach would optimize flows, traffic lights would be costly to install and maintain. Also, pedestrians and bikers could be put in danger because of the higher vehicle speeds moving through the intersection. In addition, the changes in signal behavior throughout the day could confuse drivers.
Our third option would keep vehicle flow through the intersection the same, but would add 2 pedestrian bridges. These bridges would completely separate pedestrians from the traffic below. Because of this, vehicle delays would be decreased. Despite the decrease in vehicle delays, this alternative would be costly to construct, may not be aesthetically pleasing, and could cause driver blind spots due to the large space taken up.
After weighing all the pros and cons, we decided on alternative 1, which includes the exclusive one-way traffic north of the intersection and the increase in pedestrian signage. This solution is less costly than alternatives 2 and 3, which required construction of traffic lights and bridges respectively. With this proposal, we were able to go from LOS-C to LOS-B by widening the crosswalk to 12 feet. The conversion to a one-way will also reduce traffic by about half.
Just like the queue of a well-designed intersection, this presentation has come to an end. This is Dan,
Andrew,
Trent, and
Maddie!
Thanks for listening!